So allow me, please. Aparna, thank you so much for being on our platform, and welcome to this Signia's workshop on mindfulness in stress management. And I have already told, Arpana, we are very proud that you are one of our nurses from India and had been in Ireland for 18 years, and you had been, various, forums of midwifery, birthing, mindfulness, yoga. It's a mix of many things. So that will be really great to hear from you. So I would just stop the sharing now, and I'm going to ask you, please go ahead and tell us what is mindfulness. And it's so soothing to see the Buddha on your side with the lamp over there, which immediately gives the feeling that, yes, we are going to be far more peaceful by the time we finish this 1 hour. So thank you once again and welcome. And a warm welcome to all the participants who are here now and all those who are going to join. And hopefully you should be able to take back some tips for us to get a little better than what we are today. Thank you once again. Yes, Aparna, it's yours.
Thank you. I was hoping to see some faces, but most of the people have chosen to keep their video off. That's okay. I respect that.
No, I think usually in India, we do have a problem with bandwidth. So if everybody puts the video on, sometimes we have a problem. So since you have shown the desire that they should be on video, so what I would request is that feel free to come on the video, and in case you feel that the bandwidth is not right, then you can stop your video. Then your audio will get better, because I'm very sure Aparna's bandwidth is going to be definitely better because she's there in Ireland. So we do have a problem in India. So
okay, no worries. No, that's okay.
Have yourself on the video. We will not ask you that you have to stay off.
Oh my God, I can see Manju Chugani Didi, my senior from RAK.
So that's why she has come today. Okay, that's why she has come today. Be her student, okay?
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to see you, actually.
Me too. Thank
you. Thank you.
So we will start this session, and it's really about everybody who's present here. And we should all take this moment to express our gratitude towards Thankum, जिसके नाम में ही thanks है. Like, this is not something that people easily choose to do what she's doing, because I have been asked to speak on so many platforms in India, but everybody wanted me to talk about COVID-19 and maternity. And you know what? My heart lies in the mindfulness. So this is my first opportunity ever in India doing this for Indian nurses, because I have been teaching for Irish Nurses and Midwives organization since 2011, but since 2015 I have been teaching mindfulness for them nationwide. So I have done a lot of training for Irish nurses, but this is so I'm so thankful to Thankum for organizing this session for my beloved nursing fraternity in India.
Thank you.
I have no words. Thank you.
Even I don't have words. Looking forward.
Thank you. So let us just start by connecting, because mindfulness is not something that I can express in words and you can listen and understand. It can only be done. If you remember a Chinese proverb which says, if I hear, I forget. If I see, I know. But if I do, then it just, you embody that. So mindfulness is about embodying the presence of yourself. It's not about anybody else. So this session is not your regular teaching session or learning session. I'm not a teacher at all. I don't know anything better than you already do. You know everything. Probably I know little less than what you know. But what I will try my best is to bring out that is best in you that you have been hiding from yourself. So I might be able to remove those layers, and you can just find that beautiful light shining in your heart, ready to come out. So please allow. If you are doing something, the only thing I will request is drop it, please, now. Take the moment, forget about all the household work that is pending to be done. Forget about everything that is lingering on here in the mind. And the only thing that matters is now, this present moment. You already are perfect in the way you are. There's no need to get any better. There's no need to go anywhere. This is the moment. And every moment is like that. It's our human mind that starts to judge every moment as good or bad, beautiful or ugly. But every moment is just a moment. So we will take 2 minutes of silence. If I say 1 minute, you will think, who has died? So we will not take 1 minute silence, because people usually keep 1 minute silence for that reason. But we will take 2 minutes silence for rebirth, because we can always rebirth ourselves in this lifetime. We don't know whether there is another lifetime. We don't know whether there is soul or not. This is not about another lifetime. This is about living this life in full. So put your 2 feet on the sole, 2 feet and like your sole of the feet on the floor, and sit with your spine straight. So keeping your spine erect from the tailbone to the crown of the head, your head sitting right in the middle of the shoulders. And take a deep breath in. Feel the breath coming in through the nose and going out. And for these 2 minutes, this is the most important task that you can do, is to just observe your breath coming in and going out. Now you can gently open your eyes and look around, just to draw the awareness to the room and the space where you are. And then gently looking at the screen if few faces are smiling at you, just acknowledging each one's presence, even just looking at everybody's name and knowing who else is present. It's all about presence, nothing else. We can't be any different than we already are. We can only be present. So the only thing you can do for me or give me as a gift is your presence. And if you are fully present, I can feel your presence. And if you're still busy looking around, doing things and thinking, oh my God, I need to cook my dinner, or that, I have to prepare that assignment, then the presence is missing. So please make sure that you are fully present, not for me, not for anybody else, but just for yourself. So what is mindfulness? And as Thankam said, that this is not a very common topic that people have heard about it, and especially in our nursing fraternity. So that's my actually desire, to bring as much awareness as I can around mindfulness, especially in India, which is the land of birth of mindfulness. Mindfulness is nothing else than what already has India has given to the world. So if we trace back the root of mindfulness, they go as far as Vedas and Upanishad. It's all Vedantic knowledge. It's all yogic knowledge. It's all what Krishna said in Gita. He said, do not worry about the future. Don't repent about the past. वर्तमान चल रहा है. वर्तमान ही एक क्षण है हम सबके लिए. This is exactly what it is, presence and present moment. And then we move in Indian history, and then we say that there was a king called Raja Shuddhodhan and his wife, Queen Maya, who gave birth to a beautiful child called Siddhartha Gautam. And Siddhartha Gautam was later on, because of his journey for the enlightenment, was known as Buddha. For the whole world, he became Buddha. And from there, the birth of mindfulness. So if we look at our forefathers, we will directly say that Buddha and Buddhist meditation practices are at the core of mindfulness practices. But at the same time, mindfulness is totally secular practice. It does not relate to any religion. You do not have to become Buddhist or religious to practice mindfulness. As long as you are breathing and you are a human, you can practice mindfulness. So breath has no religion and presence has no religion. And that's exactly what applies to mindfulness. But we will come to modern times. In 19th century, Vipassana meditation started to spread in Europe and America. And Vipassana meditation comes from that Satipatthana Sutta that comes from Buddhist meditation. Sati. Sati is a Pali word which means moment to moment awareness. Being aware, being awake. Buddha, what does it mean to be Buddha? Buddha really means to be awake. The one who is awake is Buddha. So it's not that only Siddhartha Gautam can be Buddha. Any one of us who are awake in any moment, we are Buddha. We're embodied Buddha in that moment. But then we come back to our this human mind where it's a monkey mind which is jumping from one thought to the next to the next. So anyway, coming back to Sati. Sati is a Pali word which means moment to moment awareness. And these practices started to spread globally in the Western world. And there was a man called Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh is a Buddhist monk from Vietnam. And Thich Nhat Hanh went to America and he was teaching Buddhist meditation practices. And there happens to be a doctor who was present in those meditation retreats. And this doctor learned those practices really, really diving deep into them. So this was not a short course of meditation I'm talking about. Probably he did months of meditation with Buddhist monks. And then when this doctor came back to his workplace, so he was a professor of medicine in University of Massachusetts, a molecular biologist. His father was also a well-known, renowned molecular biologist. And he knew that he has experienced something really profound, something that he has never experienced before. And he was not just happy to keep it to himself. So this doctor decided that he is going to get this benefit for his patients and get this benefit for his professional colleagues, means other doctors. But that time, when we are talking about in 1979, in America, if you would have gone to other people and said that, come here, I'll teach you meditation, probably they'll laugh at you, especially in the medical world. They'll be like, what are you talking about? You want me to sit here and close my eyes and do nothing? That's not we became doctor for. But this man was so determined that he decided, no, I will work, no matter how much hard work it takes. And he demanded a little place in the hospital, in University of Massachusetts hospital. He said, can I get a place where I can do some experiments with the patients? And he was given a little basement in the hospital, which nobody was using. So he got at least 2 or 3 other doctors in the team who said, we will support you because we can see something in you which just appears very different from the time when you left this place, and now that you are back, there is something about you that we want to work with you. So these doctors also supported Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, who is now also known as the modern father of the mindfulness. So Dr. John Kabat-Zinn got this place in the basement, and he could not even get normal chronic illness patients. So he went on and requested to a friend of his in a psychiatric hospital, where he said, I want to work with your psychiatric patients and experiment and see what happens. So he invited psychiatric patients to come in this University of Massachusetts, that area in the basement, and he started working with them. So he got, say, I don't know exactly, but probably 20 or 30 patients. And in the basement, they were worried that what is the air quality like? So every day they will go in the basement and check the quality of air with that barometer and see if the oxygen level is sufficient for people to be sitting here and breathing. Because as you know, in India, we always prefer to practice yoga with nature. We try to sit out in nature, and we do sun salutation actually facing the sun when the sun is rising, and not inside the 4 walls. And imagine he was given the basement. But he was so determined that he would check the air quality and then start the practice. So what he did with those patients, he offered his full presence as a doctor. And he asked those patients to trust him that he is going to work with them for their well-being. And all he did was literally mindful body movements and meditation. Because he knew that if he had any tagline like Buddhist meditation or meditation, he will not get anywhere. So he decided to call it mindfulness. He decided to call it mindfulness based stress reduction program, MBSR program. And when this experiment after a few weeks was over, and these patients were back in their psychiatric hospital, the psychiatrists were amazed that a lot of them could actually come off their medication, and a lot of them could be discharged home. And those who were still there, they were just kind of, they were showing a lot of other signs of improvement. So these psychiatrists became very curious what this man is doing. And then they started to communicate with the organizing hospital, which is University of Massachusetts. And they said, what Dr. John Kabat-Zinn is doing. We see a lot of changes in our patients and we don't understand. He's not even giving any medicine. So other doctors would come and sometimes just peep through the door out of curiosity, what this man is doing. And then the word started to kind of spread out. And there are a lot more psychiatric hospitals and even general hospitals started to contact Dr. John Kabat-Zinn. Will you work with our patients also? We also want our patients to get better. Can you please take our patients for your MBSR workshop? And Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, being so kind, decided to provide this MBSR teacher training for free for 500 doctors at that time, because he wanted this goodness and welfare of humankind not to stop with him or not to stop with those few patients who benefit. So I call him a living Buddha. He's still alive today and he's so beautiful. If you get time, please look up on the YouTube. John is spelled very differently. It is actually Jon, John. So it's not a normal spelling of John. So Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, mindfulness, as soon as you put in, you will find lots of information and lots of YouTube videos. So he is so kind that he was even holding 3 months retreat during Corona period. And every day from Monday to Friday, he was holding mindfulness workshop for everybody, like 1,000 participants on Zoom, and the rest were tuning in through YouTube and YouTube. Yeah, only YouTube. Yeah. So I followed his retreat whole 3 months and I was like, oh my God, at least I can't meet him personally, but I have had that connection with him, listening to him for 3 months. So that is what mindfulness is. But the history was necessary for you to know, because if you want to understand mindfulness, it is really important to know what are the roots, where does it come from. It does really belong to India. It comes from India. It spread to Western world. I'm just doing that cycle reverse. So people from East went to West, and now I'm coming back from West to East and telling them, come on, wake up. This is the time that the world is waking up. Why are we sleeping? My dear, beautiful nursing sisters, wake up. Join this campaign of awake nurses, the mindful nurses. We need them more than ever today, not even for any other person, but for nurses themselves. Because during COVID-19, nurses are working really, really, really hard. They're trying their best. It isn't easy to be in that gear, PPE. I've never even worn it, so I don't really know the pain of being in it. And keeping that mask on the whole time, and then treating the patients who are also suffering. So you're surrounded by people who are suffering, Your job is even more tough than what Buddha did. He could sit alone underneath that tree, which we call now a Bodhi tree. He was sitting alone, he could reach the enlightenment. But what will you do? How will you end, first of all, your own suffering? And then you only set out to end the suffering for other humans, which you're already doing. You're doing wonderful, beautiful, miraculous job. But please end your own suffering first. Because when we were having pre-workshop conversation, Thankum just said it to me, you can't really give it to someone that you don't have. And that is so true. Will you ever go to a beggar asking for money? No, because you know he hasn't got anything to give you. But beggar stands there with the bowl in the hand and he says, give me, give me. And in a sense, we are like that beggar. We are going around, we are asking our husband, give me love. We are asking our children, come on, behave for me, I'm your mother. We are going around, we are telling our nursing colleagues and doctors, come on, be nice to me. So in a way, we are always going around with this bowl in our hand, asking everybody, give me this, give me that. But they don't have what you're looking for. How will they give you? The only person who can give you something, put your hand on your heart now. Do it now. What do you feel? Who is there? Take a moment, close your eyes. Connect to you and ask yourself a question. Who am I? Who am I? Am I this name? Am I a mother? Am I a nurse? Am I a woman? And take time to find the answer, but don't dwell too hard. Whatever comes up first is the answer. Who am I? Am I this body? Am I this mind? Am I this face that people know and recognize? Am I a wife, a partner, a sister, a brother, a daughter? Who am I? And now you can open your eyes. Hope you found the answer. I'm still searching. I'm still searching. Who am I? But I just know that I'm not any of those. None of that defines me. My name is not my choice. I was never consulted before giving this name. My parents gave me this name. And there are a lot of reasons why we came in nursing. So ask yourself this question now. So on the screen of your mind, there comes the question, why did I become a nurse? And you don't need to share it. You don't need to tell anyone. That is your answer. Why did I become a nurse? If I be honest and share my answer with you, it was not to serve the mankind. I choose this as a profession to make money, to have a livelihood. And there's nothing wrong with that. Why not? People choose to do IT. People choose to become a doctor. People choose to become a banker. People choose to become a teacher, and that's their profession. What's wrong if I choose to become a nurse as a profession? There was nothing wrong. But along the line, I realized it is way more than profession. It's not like the other profession. And it took very long time before I understood this. I have been doing the job that I do, telephone triage, midwife advisor, and a nurse. I remember many years ago that I would be taking a call, but I'm not present. The caller is saying, and I'm listening, but the mind is also thinking something else. And the thoughts are coming and going. And in between, I'm listening to the caller. And sometime, if my own state of mind is not good, I was getting angry, couldn't express it, but getting inside angry with the caller. And the caller has done nothing. What was that? Does that happen to you if you work in a hospital? That a patient asks you something and you feel that why is he so demanding? Why is he always asking me to check his temperature? Why is he always asking for the bedpan or whatever he's asking? But he's doing just what he is doing. But it is our state of mind that decides and defines how I'm responding. So let's come back to the topic of today's, because I can talk whole, probably my normal workshops are at least 6 hours. So I can talk. That's the only thing that I can do. I can talk. But it's not about me talking. It's about you experiencing. So let's come to the topic of today's conversation, which is stress management. And I hope I have given you some background as to why mindfulness can be an effective tool for managing stress of yourself and the others. So I want you to feel stress in your body because you are a nurse. You are familiar with the hypothalamus gland. You are familiar with the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that is on the back. So it's part of our limbic system of the brain. And this part of the limbic system is part of our primitive human mind. When we were hunters and gatherers, we were going around, and really in a stone age, we had to hunt down our food. And if the tiger started chasing, we had to actually climb up on the tree to save our lives. So that memory is still there after all those years. And that's what our amygdala holds. So I'm not going to get into detail of the pathophysiology of the stress, that how the stress hormones travel, then they help release the epinephrine hormone, and that causes the high blood pressure, the heart disease. If you trace, 90% of the hospital visits are due to stress related illnesses. And a lot of the illnesses that, when you read in medical surgical nursing, they say that etiology, not well known, unknown. And what does that mean? If you trace back, it could be stress. A lot of people may have genes for diabetes. A lot of people may have genes for heart disease. But if they live a life that is free of stress, they may delay the onset of illness until very late age. But if they live a stressful life, the onset of illness can be very early in life. So that's the difference. So I want you to feel the stress in the body. So I want you to kind of close yourself really, really tight and just close your eyes and imagine a very stressful situation you have most recently faced. Anything, it can be in the house, in the hospital, anywhere. And just tense up all the muscles and feel whatever the other person is saying and how it is hurting and how hurt you feel inside. And open your eyes and keep this body posture. How does it feel? How does it feel, the stress? Tight, contracted, small. That's what exactly stress does. It makes us powerless. It makes us small. It makes us closed. And the mindfulness will do the just opposite. Now I want you to open your arms like, in a Shah Rukh Khan style, when he goes like this in a romantic pose. So open your arms on both sides and bring a gentle smile to your face and look up. Look up to the ceiling and give a big smile. How does it feel in the body to be like this? And remember, how did it feel when we were like this? And how does it feel now? Open the arms. And now bring the arms to hug yourself. Give a big hug. And just say to yourself, I love you, whatever your name is. I love you, Aparna. You are so gorgeous. You're so beautiful. You are so divine. Say to yourself, I am who I am. I love myself. I accept myself fully in this moment. I know that I'm the best version of myself in this very moment. And release and let go. So this is what mindfulness is. It's not like I can talk. There is the whole literature that is available. But what do you feel in your body? It's a meeting with the self. There are two ways you can practice mindfulness. You can do formal practice, or you can do an informal practice. Because a lot of people find it very hard to sit and meditate because they are like, they are active people. That's how their body and mind is designed. They might get into a shock if you just told them to just sit there, close your eyes and do nothing. In my last workshop that I provided for Irish Nurses and Midwives Organization, one of the public health nurse, she was telling me that when I told my colleagues that I'm going to do this mindfulness and meditation workshop for holistic nursing care, then her colleague said, what? Are you mad? Are you going to learn to do nothing? And she told me, and I was like, that's exactly what you are here for. Thanks to your colleagues. They knew more than you knew. Probably you thought you are coming here to learn something, but they knew that you are coming here to learn to do nothing. So that's what we tell you, to learn to do nothing, because we are always running, chasing the goals, chasing everything. We don't know. We have forgotten to stop. We always have meeting with lots of people, with bosses, with colleagues, with family. But we have forgotten that one person is this. We don't meet ourselves. So meeting with self is meditation. Meditation is nothing else. Forget about that enlightenment that they talk in yogic scriptures. I teach yoga. So, in Patanjali's 8-limb path, where we talk about yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, samadhi. So the first 4 stages, even Patanjali kept them for the body. So when we talk about yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, we are talking about the body. And then when we move from those 4 stages to the next 4 stages, as soon as they begin, the first stage of the last 4 stages, pratyahara. Pratyahara is nothing but turning the attention inward, looking in. And then pratyahara, Dharana. Dharana means remembrance. Dharan kar liya jo wo hai dharana. Because I may blabber on so much, but it has no meaning if you did not embody any of it. So, dharana means when everything is embodied and remembering, keep coming back to yourself. That's the way mind is designed. It's like a vagabond, it's like a mad monkey. It will start to jump from one thought to the next. But coming back is dharana. Then moving to the next stage is dhyana. Dhyana is meditation. It's an uninterrupted flow of focused concentration. And where is the focus? Focus is here, inward. When you feel that flow of focus from all the way down in your body. And then the next stage is samadhi. We are not aiming for that. We are not going to run away from this world towards Himalayas, or not like Buddha, we will be sitting under any tree for many years. That's not it is about for us. We are normal human beings. We are here to live this life. So all we want is little bits of pieces of peace, you know. So that peace, when you get a glimpse of it, it's like when a child has seen a jar of candy and he has got one, he wants more, more, more. That's what will happen to you. Once you start practicing mindfulness and meditation, you'll be like, oh my God, I've never felt like this before. I want to get more of that. And that joy, you know, when they say this ananda, ananda is nothing but a bliss. What's the difference between blissful state and a happy state? So the happiness is always dependent on something. Happiness is like, oh my God, I've got this position, so I'm so happy. Because Thankum has invited me to give a talk on mindfulness, so I'm so happy. So happiness is always dependent on the other person, on the other activities, or other things that happen outside us. But the blissful state is what they called enlightenment. You know, in our culture, actually, it was made so hard that people thought only those deserve to be enlightened, those who renounced this worldly desires. That's not true. You can still have the desire and you can still experience the blissful state every now and then. So Samadhi is not what we are aiming for. We are not going to renounce the world. We are not going to sit in the caves of Himalayas, but we want to be present and to be peaceful and to be joyful. So the blissful state is where the joy is felt inward without any reason. There is no reason, but you are happy. Sometimes people will say, they might think there's something cracked inside here. Why is she so happy? You know? But that's what probably people thought for Buddha when he came back. Because nobody, like, he couldn't even dare to teach because he knew that people will not believe him. He knew that people will not understand what he has experienced. So he decided to only reach to those 5 people that had accompanied him on his initial journey but left him. So he went exactly to those 5 people. And even those 5, when they saw him coming after so long, they decided to pretend that they don't see him. But then there was something about his aura, that the brightness on his face, that they were like drawn to him. And that's where he started somewhat talking about what he had experienced. So Buddha said, do not believe a word I say. That's the difference between Buddhist teachings and other religions, because every religion say, this is what is written in this book, follow this, you will, इसका नाम लो, उस भगवान का नाम लो, तर जाओगे. ऐसा होता तो हम सब तर गए होते. लेकिन नहीं. He said, go and experiment and find your own truth. And when you find your own truth, when you find your own peace, when you find your own happiness, that is where the power lies. And that's why so many organizations are teaching mindfulness. So now the time is left very little. I can't even imagine that. I hope it has given you some glimpse into mindfulness. So basically, our object of awareness that we focus in mindfulness are five object of awareness. The first object is breath. We always use breath as an anchor to the present moment. The second object is body. So mindfulness is all about befriending the body. So you will say, what do you mean befriending the body? Have I been acting as an enemy to my body? I don't know. I don't have the answer. Ask yourself. When we are so tempted to eat that samosa and jalebi, what are we doing to our body? And what do we do to our body when we kind of, get so angry that every muscle in the body tensed up and we feel as if, actually, I want you to ask this question. Just feel in your body, because in all the years that I have been working through my own body, I have discovered the areas where I used to hold the stress and is still a little bit in my body. So there are different pockets in the body where we hold the stress. So funny enough, I found that I was holding my most of the stress in my hands and fingers. So like my hands would be pretty much clenched majority of the time, and the neck area, which is famous, like, neck and shoulder is famous for holding the stress and tension. So it could be different for different people. There's no right or wrong. So the next thing we focus on is sound awareness. So mindfulness is training of the mind. We train the mind step by step by step by step. And that's the difference, because we don't just tell you to sit there and do nothing. We tell you the steps to this process. And that's where the training comes. That's why our training programs or the MBSR programs are so famous worldwide, that the UK's healthcare system, America's healthcare system, Australia's healthcare system, they all include mindfulness, because they know that this is such a big requirement of the time. And it is actually since 2004, UK's NICE, National Institute of Clinical Excellence, has it as part of the NHS program in UK. So patients of depression and anxiety can get a free training on mindfulness, because these patients will benefit. And if you get chance, then do Google this article. I'm going to, sorry. So I hope you can see it. It's called Avoiding Burnout in Nursing Through Mindfulness. And this is an Irish article written by the hospital people who teach mindfulness. So see, even the first line, there was a very famous poet in Ireland, James Joyce. You might have even heard his name, because he's famous worldwide. James Joyce is the most famous poet. And his poem was Mr. Duffy lived a short distance away from his body. So this is a free article. Please download and read, and that will give you a lot of information about how we can handle the burnout among nurses by just training them in this mindfulness practice. So the fourth thing that we train is on thought awareness. Decouple from thinking mind, because at the moment the relationship with the thought is like this. If I start to think that I am so stupid, then my mind, just the thought came, I'm stupid. And then I'm so entangled to this thought that I will actually start believing that I'm stupid. And I could be the most intelligent person in the world, but the thought is that I'm stupid. So I will feel stupid, I will act stupid, I will look stupid. So it's all about you know, what you think. You may see how people appear, and a lot of the time they don't even have to say a word. You just get it from by looking at them. Then the next thing that we train is emotional awareness, because emotions are felt in the body. So when we are very stressed out, our heartbeat goes fast, our blood pressure rises, our breathing goes fast. So we train the people to feel the emotions in the body. Where is it in the body? Then open awareness. So after training on all those steps, then we train people to just become aware of their day-to-day life, and the whole life becomes a meditation. So I was saying that there are two ways you can practice mindfulness, either by doing it formally or informally. So formal practice is with meditation, and informal practice is just like a dharana. So keep coming back to the task at hand. So if you're cooking your dinner, but you're cooking it mindfully, you are aware what spice you are putting, how much you are putting, you're mindful. Your dish will be very tasty, no doubt. But if you were cooking your dinner and you were thinking, oh my God, I need to, you know, put the clothes in the washing machine. Oh, my next meeting is waiting. I need to go in. And then I can tell you the taste of the dinner will be different. So try these small little things, that how does I actually do the workshops in mindful eating. So there is a very famous vegetarian restaurant in Dublin, and I held my mindful eating workshop there with vegetarian food, and it was very much appreciated by the participants, because they realized that how different it is to eat food in awareness. So I'm coming to the end of my topic of today's, but I would like to share my screen and just run through few slides, if that's okay with Thankam, if the time is not running out too much. It might
I
take
think
probably...
we are fine. Yes.
Okay, thank you. It might take only 5 minutes.
Yeah, no worries.
So let me share the screen. Okay. So hope you can see my slide.
Yes.
Perfect. So mindfulness, as I said, is a secular practice. It's a humanistic practice, and it's not religion. It's not politics. Although I will show you something going forward. So this is the man, Dr. John Kabat-Zinn. He was the professor of medicine at the University of Massachusetts Medical School, and he was founding executive director of the Center for Mindfulness. And he has trained judges, business leaders, lawyers, Olympic athletes, environmental activists in mindfulness. And mindfulness lies at the heart of Buddhist meditation. I'm not going to repeat what I already talked about. And there are three triangle of awareness, which is designed by Dr. John Kabat-Zinn. So the thought, the body sensations, and the emotions. So our whole core practices are totally based on these three triangle of awareness. And in recent years, over 500 corporate organizations like US Army, Google, Apple, Nike, Fidelity Investment, Facebook, Transport for London, PwC, and British and Irish Parliament, they all have trained on mindfulness. And actually, UK is doing really, really well. They have released a parliamentary document which is on the way to becoming a mindful nation. But you know the way these documents are prepared, but if they're not implemented seriously, then the result is not that obvious. And then I can say that even in Ireland, my son, who is in secondary school, they are also taught mindfulness by their teachers. So teacher must have received training from somebody on mindfulness, and now she's teaching children on mindfulness. So like that, I teach nurses, and then nurses go and teach their patients how to be mindful. So it is basically a mental exercise. You are in a mental gym. You know, the way people are used to of going to a physical gym where they can see the equipment. Here, because nothing outward is seen, people get scared out and they leave the gym. But people like me carry on. So, mindfulness awareness is about learning to pay attention in the present moment and without judgment. So, you don't judge your practice. If you have started practicing meditation, don't think that it is good or bad, or why am I thinking? If I'm still thinking, that means I'm not meditating. Believe me, you are meditating. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known that you are thinking. There are lots of myths by so many meditation teachers. I just hear it all the time. So if you have any doubts, please contact me and I will clear your doubts on meditation. So training attention to be where you want it to be, this reduces our tendency to work on an autopilot mode. So in mindfulness, we say a monkey mind is like an autopilot mode. So this is the default mode of the mind, where there are lots of junk thoughts just keep coming and coming and coming. But when we train our mind to be aware, then gradually there is the neuroplasticity, which means there will be physical changes in the structure of the brain, which will make the brain in such a way that the prefrontal cortex area of the brain, which is here in the front, right behind your forehead, there is a prefrontal cortex area of the brain which plays the executive role, and this is the part that is responsible for all important decision making and your emotional awareness. So this area becomes activated, and that's why people who practice mindfulness, they are more present, they are more focused on what they want to achieve in life. So you know, these corporate companies are not very kind that they are training their employees. All they want is the best productive employees, and that's the reason they are training their employees on mindfulness. So neuroscientific research keeps giving us one or the other reason why to practice mindfulness. And it came up very recently with a research that mindfulness makes it easier to forget your fears. And that's again a whole research that you can read yourself in neurosciencenews.com. And evidence, it is an evidence-based practice. We are not talking about those ancient practices, but I'm telling you, this is nothing different. This is exactly the same thing, but now we have science to back it up. So University in Oxford in November 2013 published a research study and found that there was people who practiced meditation or mindfulness. They had 58% reduction in anxiety level, 57% reduction in depression, and 40% reduction in stress. Mindfulness training at Leinster House, which is the Irish Parliament, happened last year for 8 weeks. So our Irish parliamentarians got 8-week training on mindfulness last year. And again, this is all the pathophysiology of the stress hormone, how it works, how it damages the body, and it doesn't discriminate. Short-term stress is okay. It is part of being human, but long-term stress is what we are trying to avoid. So these are the references that I used. The next thing I want to talk about, in September, I'm starting this 6 weeks course on mindful living and meditation. So if any of you are interested to make my mind my friend, that's my slogan or logo or motto, you can say. So in this 6-week course, you will understand more about your own mind, and you will know the difference when your mind is full and when you're mindful, and what are the thoughts, where do they come from, how we create them, how we take responsibility for them, how you can put mindful daily activities in your life, how you can overcome the challenges in your practice, what is meditation, how you focus on breath, how to become stress-free and happy, and have a productive mind. So if you are interested, please either let Thankam know or you can call me. I have a YouTube channel which is called Shubh Connections, and there are lots of videos on my mind, my friend. So if you have time and if you would like to subscribe, it's all over in social media, Shubh Connections on all the platform, Instagram, Anchor, and we do offer lots of services at Shubh Connections for even healthcare professionals, antenatal classes. I teach in Ireland as well, midwives, how to become an antenatal educator, how to hold your private antenatal classes. Thank you so much to Thankam Gomez and Signia Healthcare for giving me this beautiful opportunity to connect with my beautiful nursing friends in India. And that's it. I will stop sharing my screen. And before we finish, I'm going to just say a little poem and then I will hand it over to Thankam. So listen to this poem as if you are meditating. So put your 2 feet on the ground. So if you're sitting with a cross-legged, then put your 2 feet on the ground. Put your hands on your lap, on your thighs, and sit with your spine erect and just drop your awareness in the body. If you wish, you can close your eyes. You don't have to. Or you can just simply lower your gaze. And this poem is taken from Mindfulness at Work with an anonymous poet. Always we hope someone else has the answer. Some other place will be better. Some other time, it will all turn out. This is it. No one else has the answer. No other place will be better. And it has already turned out at the center of your being. You have the answer. You know who you are. And you know what you want. There's no need to run outside for better seeing, nor to peer from a window. Rather, abide at the center of your being. For the more you leave it, the less you learn. Search your heart and see the way to do is to be. Thank you. So see the beautiful lines. It says, search your heart and see the way to do is to be. Just be. Just be yourself. Don't try to copy anybody else. Don't judge yourself for what other people think about you. You are already perfect. And feel it from inside. And then let the miracle begin. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Aparna. Thank you very much. I I felt as though I have repeated my meditation morning, and now again I have repeated my meditation. I know from my own experience, meditation is an experience, and once upon a time I Googled and I asked the Google, I yawned during meditation. Is that okay? Because I was thinking that I'm not meditating. So the moment I sit down, I will go like that. So I used to feel like something is wrong. I'm not doing the technique right. Then I got the answer that if I'm yawning, that means I'm actually getting into meditation. So I will ask if anyone sitting here, you have any question to ask Aparna, on anything that she has shared or anything, even outside, no problem. So either you can use the chat to ask, or we don't have hundreds of people here, so you can unmute yourself
Yeah,
and ask the question also. Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Aparna, it
Yes,
was
Devi.
wonderful to see you in this avatar.
Yeah,
And
it's not that Aparna, I'm telling you, the one that you
yeah,
knew in.
not at all. Not at all, not at all. But it was a wonderful session, I must appreciate. And
Thank
I was
you.
also lost in that. And today morning only, I saw a very weird dream. I don't know what is the meaning. I saw that Yamraj is there and he's saying that today you have to come. I said, I'm not sick. I'm not having any problem. Why should I come with you? So he said that no, it's time, it's not illness or anything, you have to come with me. And I said, I have not handed over anything to my children or husband, what should I do? So is there any meaning of these kind of thoughts according to you?
Thank you for this beautiful sharing, because not it's not easy to share your personal space with other people. So I really appreciate this. Um, like the answer can only come from you. So you have to search, and actually, you know what? I would suggest you tonight, before you go to bed, sit with yourself 5 minutes. Like if you are a person who always worship and sit in front of God or whatever, if you don't worry. Just sit anywhere in a chair in a quiet place and close your eyes and just remember that dream, and try to think that what does it mean for me with what is happening in my life now, and whatever answer comes, that's the answer. Thank you.
Aparna, I have a question while somebody else is thinking of asking the question. Is that when we talk about meditation, everybody, as you said, that it's not belonging to any particular religion. Okay. But I have seen somewhere, people do have some hesitation. So when I am brought up as a Christian, okay, I know Christian prayers. Okay, when I did one round of meditation of abundance from Deepak Chopra, yeah, and now I'm doing the gratitude one from him, the 21 days. There is a group that's doing it, and I must say that personally, actually, when Sanskrit word comes, no, we are not used to those Sanskrit words. So when you have to recite those Sanskrit words, internally sometimes I used to feel a bit guilty. Am I supposed to say this? Will Jesus, will he feel little bad about it? Then I went and actually searched what is the meaning, though it is being told this is the meaning. And when I searched Sanskrit, it's just like when I was in Middle East, I learned everyone says Allah, right? So I used to think Allah is means that is Islam, right? But when I learned that if the mass that we do in Christianity, if that is done in Arabic, it is called Allah. There the prayer is starting with Allah. So I said, oh, okay. So at the end of it, slowly I started realizing that we all are who we are because by birth, or we decided to follow something, right? But it was not very material, that what I recited, as long as I could recite or not recite anything at all. So my question is that, do we really need to recite something? I think there are two types of meditation. One is a meditation where you recite things, and another meditation is where you are simply listening to something. They call it as guided meditation. I'm quite comfortable with guided meditation. So maybe you can tell a little bit on that. I know I don't want to take too
Yeah,
much of your
sure.
time, but people who
Yeah.
are wanting to know about meditation, maybe it will help them.
So, yeah, I can answer this question in my two different capacity. So, first of all, I will answer this from the perspective of mindfulness, because that's what we are talking about here today. So in mindfulness, there is no such practice where you recite anything at all. Our meditations are only focused on those 5 things that I said: breath awareness, thought awareness, body awareness, emotional awareness, and sound awareness, and then open awareness. So we don't deal with anything that will come under the umbrella of religion or Sanskrit or any old. We do sometimes use Buddhist words like metta practice or some sadbhavna or those old Pali words, but like in my all workshops I would have never used any of those words. So from mindfulness point of view, your question I cannot answer because it's not part of mindfulness. But then I also teach yoga, and as a person who lived in India, born in India, came here for 18 years, so now I know the Western society as well. And so your question is that when you listen to those mantras or whatever you have been asked to chant or recite, there is some kind of hesitation inside. And you are actually very much meditating in that moment because you're very aware of that conflict inside. So your awareness itself is the meditation.
Okay.
And then that mantra or no mantra is immaterial. You should only do it if it sits with you. You should never try and do something that does not resonate, because our subconscious mind is always leading us to do everything. So as you are saying, because your upbringing is in a different religion, so the mind is programmed that way, and that programmed mind will keep coming every now and then. But now you are actually, as if somebody has asked you to take that favda and make a new path. That's what the neural pathway is. So in your brain you are making new pathways, but those old familiar roots, those old neural pathways will still keep coming and say that, oh look, this comes from Hinduism, this comes from this religion or that religion. So if it doesn't feel right, just don't do it. You don't have to do it. But if it feels okay, because there are 9 attitudes of mindfulness, and one of them is non-judging. Non-judging is not just something that I said. No, it's a very big thing. The moment we see somebody on the screen, even we start judging them. Oh my God, she looks great, or she looks, I don't think she knows anything. Those immediately, those thoughts start to come in the head. So when the mind goes to that stage, maybe if you come back to that mantra for, if it happened to come again in life, it might sit with you. But if it is not sitting with you at the moment, you don't have to do it. You just do the meditation that appeals you and feels right, and you feel peaceful. So try 3 or 4 different meditations and see which one gives you that aha feeling and just continue on.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you very much for that answer. And if anybody else has got anything to share or ask, please feel free before we wind up. And I think we got some thing in the chat. So let me see if there are any questions over there. Okay, somebody's telling I missed it. So they want to. How can we be aware of each moment? That is somebody's question.
That's an absolutely
When did you
wonderful
start
question.
searching your own heart?
Yeah, I will let you take the question, Thankam, because otherwise I
Yeah,
think I will
no
be
problem.
lost.
So I'm going
Yeah.
to, I'll go, I'll say, when did you start searching your own heart?
Sorry,
That's the
no,
question for you.
we'll come back to the first question that
Okay,
you
the
asked.
first one was, how can we be aware in each moment?
Okay. First of all, let me clarify, it's not possible. It's not possible because I have been practicing for so many years. So I can say that you can only increasingly become aware. So if suppose I was living a life where I was totally not aware, or spending 60% of my time lost in those junk thoughts. But now that my percentage of presence and awareness in my own life has increased, and I'm more aware of things happening around me, things happening to me, and it is creating more and more power in me. It is empowering. But it is not possible to be present in each moment, if that is your question. But if you want to know how to be present in each moment, then you just keep bringing your awareness, and you keep yourself, like you train your mind to let the thought pass, because thoughts will still come, but you let them go, but you are aware, this is what I'm thinking. So once your mind knows what you are thinking, you are aware, and it will not get entangled in that thought that much, and you will be more aware in each moment. Thank you. Next question.
Thank you. So a lot of people have complimented. It's a very nice session. So the question that I asked earlier, when did you start searching your own heart? Maybe they want to know 18 years ago, 15 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, my, like if I talk about my journey, like I was probably, from yogic point of view, I was definitely on a bhakti yoga marg for since 1998 or 9, 98 or 99, when I was teaching in a nursing college in Indore when I was in India. But that stayed only as a bhakti yoga. Then in 2014, something happened in my life, and the relations that we hold very, very near and dear, something happened that made me to question those relationships. And that sent me off to a, like I was just actually at my work and I was searching, and I came across a book by Swami Vivekananda called Raja Yoga. So I was so, like, the more I read, the more my eyes were like, and my, like, as if there was a light bulb moment reading that book. And that book was, I don't know, about 120 pages or something. It was just a PDF document. I kept reading and reading and reading. Something changed inside me just by reading that book. And I was trying to tell my colleague about Raj Yoga, and I was explaining her. I've never even heard in my life the word mindfulness. I'm talking about 2014 or 13. And I was telling her that how to practice Raj Yoga, and I said to her, I'm actually watching my thoughts. I know what I'm thinking. And she was like, oh, it's a bit like mindfulness. I was like, what is mindfulness? And I actually happened to book a course for myself in my job that was related to in health informatics. So it was all about integrating IT thing in your health related job. And that pay, like, fee was paid, and I started that online course. But during the modules, I found lots of mistake that they have made during that module, which were not making any sense. So I went back to them and I said to them that, look, I'm not happy. Your modules are not making any sense to me. So can you refund my money? And they said, yes, we will refund your money. So after about a week or two, I got my money back, but that was paid for by my company. So I went back to my manager and I said, look, I got this money, but what do you want me to do? So my manager, being so kind, she said, Aparna, you might as well use it for any other course, because once it has gone back, you won't see it again. And I was like, okay. So then I just, that word was stuck in my mind, mindfulness. So I sat on my Google bar and I started to look for a course on mindfulness. And I found a course which was held by Institute of Integrative Counseling and Psychotherapy in Ireland. So I went and did that course on therapeutic use of mindfulness. And with that course, I learned a lot about mindfulness, but because I was already practicing Raj Yoga, but it was so funny. Like, you know, there was a room full of at least 30 participants, and my teacher came and we were all sitting in a circle. And he started the introduction process. And I was the only nurse in the room, and every other person was either psychotherapist or psychologist or counselor. And for one moment I thought, what am I doing here? Like, should I be here at all? But I can tell you that was the best course ever I did, and since then I've done many courses in mindfulness. But your question was, yes, that's where probably my heart started to open, when I seriously did all these practices for maybe a year or so. After that, I felt some changes in my body, in my mind, in my heart. Like, I could be sitting there and I would have heard some bad news, and I'll be sending out good wishes to those people who are suffering in the world. And I would have considered myself originally as a very selfish type of person who would only think about me, like, as long as I'm happy, everything is fine, you know, that type of person. So even I was surprised, like, what's going on with me? How am I becoming so kind? So that's when my searching started and my heart opened. Thank you.
Okay, we have one more question, and I think we can then wrap it up. The question from Pasala: what are the benefits of being aware? I think you have already discussed that, but maybe
Yeah,
you can just sum it up once
quickly.
again. What are the
Yes.
benefits of being aware?
So being aware is not for anybody else, it's just for you. So the more you are aware, the more you are in your body present, the more you are present in your own mind. That means your bodily health, your mental health is bound to improve. You're bound to become more productive. You're bound to come across a person who is present. So, you know, your listening, your communication changes for good, and the way you carry yourself in the world changes. So there are, like, you can write yourself a whole list, but by saying to you, it won't mean anything. Try practicing awareness for a week, and then you come back and tell me what are the benefits.
I'm not a trained mindfulness trainer, but I do try to practice mindfulness. I have picked up, from here, there, reading, watching YouTube videos, self-taught. So, can I share a couple of things, Aparna,
Yes, sure,
with your
absolutely.
permission? Yeah.
Love that.
I think I shared that with you, so I'll share the same thing with them also. So while doing this, we got an exercise that we have to go out today, outside in the balcony or garden, and just try to be aware of things. Just try to be aware of things. So I said, okay. So I do go out to balcony, and so that day I went with total focus that today I'm going to be aware of my surroundings. Okay, so I went. I actually saw how many trees are in front of my balcony. They are full and they have not been cut, and they are in different hues of green leaves, different hues, light green, dark green, like that. And there were a couple of small little birds. They are going, and suddenly this light green butterfly, two three of them, this came out from the tree. And I told, oh my God, till today I used to come to the balcony and I never paid attention. I used to look at my balcony, the flowers in my balcony, but nothing probably beyond that. But that day I saw this light green butterfly. And believe me that nowadays, after I finish my meditation, I go straight to the balcony and I actually stand there till the time I don't see this light green butterfly. Sometimes I see immediately, sometimes I see after 2 minutes, sometimes I see after 3 minutes. But Some days, the butterfly, and there is this gentle breeze that comes. Otherwise, we take everything for granted. But I feel this breeze, and it's very difficult to explain. As you said, this is something that we have to experience. Okay. So I'm just sharing this, which I think is very easy for everyone to practice, till you get a proper training or whatever that you want. But this is something very easy to start developing,
Yes.
just to be aware. Even when I'm looking at the screen, as you said, am I actually looking at the screen, or is my thoughts going somewhere else? Last but not the least, I realized how powerful is namaste during this time, because I went and googled what is the meaning of namaste. This actually in Sanskrit, it translates, but in very simple English, it just means that I am grateful to another soul. And that is what is namaste. And I thought, we were talking about namaste because now corona is there, you cannot say hello, hi, so you have to say namaste. So and then I started thinking that even in many religions this gesture is used. In church this gesture is used, where we say praise the Lord, we do the same thing. I said, after all, we all are connected. Religions are probably all man made, but then as human beings, we are all connected to each other. And when you start digging, we don't take so much time to dig into a lot of things. Like you are now gone ahead and trained yourself in mindfulness, so you have become an expert. But I think these are little things that anybody
I'm
can.
only a student. I'm learning every day.
No, in front of you, we are a student, so we are also learning. So I think that this is something I started practicing, and I'm saying more of this namaste. And in my head, I'm thinking that I'm grateful to you, another soul. I'm grateful to you that you are in front of me. So I hope that those two little things, who is not a teacher of mindfulness, is just a simple person who is trying to become a better human being, I can share that. And probably that's the desire that prompted me that I must invite you here to come and tell us more about mindfulness. And
Sure.
thank you so much, Aparna,
Can
for.
I say something, if you don't mind, just to
Sure.
end? There
Yeah.
is something that I would like to give. So if any of you are interested, if you just go on my YouTube, or like subscribe to my YouTube channel, or like my Facebook page, and then you can send me a message on Shubh Connections page. And anybody who sends me a message, I will give you a free mindful yoga class that happens every Sunday. So you can choose to do either a free mindful yoga class with me, or you can do, I'm actually holding a mindful meeting on 11th of August, which is Tuesday. So you can join that for free also. So just send me a message if you want.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, all of you, please note that in case you want to know more, learn more, Aparna has offered some free solutions also. So, please go ahead. It is very easy to find her, so that's not a problem. So, once again, Aparna, thank you so much for being on Signia Healthcare's channel, and this video will be uploaded on our YouTube. Just give us a couple of days time. It just need to be rendered. That's the only thing. And thank you so much for all the participants who are still here, and very very attentive. So very difficult to take each one's name, but yes, the final namaste and thank you to each one, and God
Thank
bless
you.
you. Take care, stay safe, and be aware.
Be
Be aware to
mindful,
be
be
nice to
aware.
you, kind to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, bye bye. Thank you. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you,
Bye.
Manju ma'am. Thank you. Bye
Thank,
bye.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you,
Aparna.
ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so